Today we have our partner, Physician Wealth Advisors. Formerly they were the UMA Financial Services, but they're going to lecture during this time. So they've been a long-standing partner for the Ogden Surgical Medical Society. And please stand if you're associated with Physician Wealth Advisors. Just one. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Let's also please welcome Mark Woodruff from Physician Wealth Advisors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Good morning, everyone. I can see who's serious about their continuing medical education credits or their breakfast, whichever, to be here this early. So great to be here. My name is Mark Woodruff, and I'm with Physician Wealth Advisors. It's good to be here at Ogden Surgical Medical Society. We have been a partner for quite a while. So, as Dr. Moore said, we used to be known as Utah Medical Association Financial Services. We are now Physician Wealth Advisors. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So in December of 2021, just like physicians, our Decembers are very busy. I know you have people coming in to do those, those back surgeries or maybe a hernia surgery or something because they've met their deductible and they need to get it in before the end of the year. We are busy also helping clients with donations to charities and other things and helping get things ready for the end of the year. And we received a cease and desist letter in December of 2021 from from the attorneys of an agricultural finance company in the Midwest that's had a trademark on FS, financial services or FS, since 1966, and they decided they wanted to enforce that. And so they told us we have a year to tell them if we're going to give them royalties every year or we're going to change our name. So it's our 30th year of helping physicians that are associated with the Utah Medical Association. So we took the chance to use that year, and this is an excuse to change our name to Physician Wealth Advisors, as you see here. So what has changed? Just our name. We're exactly the same people, exactly the same company, and the same services with just a more descriptive name. So who is Physician Wealth Advisors, or who was, and we used to be UMAFS. We were started in 1993. We are owned by the Utah Medical Association, or the UMA. We specialize in asset management and financial planning for physicians who are members of the UMA and their families. So if you're an MD or a DO and are a member of the UMA, then you qualify for our services. We started in 1993 because in the late 80s and early 90s, a lot of physicians had been taken advantage of, unfortunately, financially by real estate opportunities or by brokers, unscrupulous brokers, or by insurance agents. And so UMA said, what can we do? So in 1993, UMA started UMA Financial Services, hired one financial advisor and one assistant. And at that point, anyone who's a member of UMA could come in once a year, have a financial checkup, get an idea of if what they were doing was something good or not. And over the years, we've also included that to go and visit medical schools here in Utah and also give residents some training. So we provide free financial education to UMA members and their families. We can also partner with you to manage your investments and provide specific financial advice and build a financial plan and retirement plan for you for a modest fee. One of the things that makes us different is we have experience. We have 6 financial advisors with over 150 years of experience in the financial industry. We all hold a certified financial planner designation. You've probably heard a little bit more about that lately. Let me tell you a little bit about that. In medicine, there's a barrier to entry. If you want to be a doctor, you need to go to medical school. You need to do a residency, sometimes a fellowship. If you want to be in law, you got to go to law school and start practicing. So, in the finance world, there's not a barrier to entry, unfortunately, but there is a way for people who are serious about being a financial planner to go to school, get some education, and also some continuing education. So in Utah, it's interesting. As long as you're 18 years old, have a social security number, and can pass a simple insurance test, then you can be an insurance agent. You can also put financial advisor or financial planner on your business card if you want to, which is kind of scary. But to get a certified financial planner, the way that this works is you have to get an undergraduate degree, and then once you get an undergraduate degree, you study additional, usually 18 or 24 months in 7 different financial planning areas. You have to pass those modules along the way, and then at the end of that, you can sit for a national exam that's given 3 times per year. The pass rate on that is just about 60%, and you can take it 3 times in your lifetime, so it's like baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. If you don't pass within those 3, then you cannot be a certified financial planner. So we're proud that all 6 of our advisors have this certified financial planner. We manage about $1.4 billion right now. We provide unbiased guidance because we are owned by the Utah Medical Association. We're not owned by a bank, a broker-dealer, a mutual fund, or an insurance company. So we get to cherry pick the products and services that we feel are best for you. We're also what's called a fiduciary as certified financial planners, meaning we act in your best interest. One thing that helps us do this is we earn a salary. We're not paid in commission. This is unheard of in the finance world. Another thing that's different is we have no minimum balance to work with us. We start working with residents and help them with a Roth IRA that will soon be a backdoor Roth IRA because they're going to earn too much to qualify for a Roth IRA. So there's no minimum. For most financial advisors that have certified financial planners and have $1.4 billion under management, you're usually going to need to have about $500,000 or $1 million to even qualify to walk in the door. We don't have a minimum. So these are some of the things that make us different. Russell Investments out of Seattle, for 10 years in a row, has done a study that they call the value of an advisor. And they just released this last month, and they showed that the value of an advisor, according to them, can be worth up to 5.12% per year to your portfolio, and they break it down these 4 ways. A is for active rebalancing, that gives you about 0.25%. B is for behavioral coaching, which is about 2.5% of the return, and we'll talk about that more. C is a customized experience in wealth planning, and T is for tax smart planning. But again, 5.12, they say, is what the potential value is of having a good financial advisor. So when we talk about behavioral coaching, let's look at this slide here. There's a lot of colors there, and it's a pretty slide, but the ones we want to focus on is the orange one, which is the return of an average investor over the past 10 years from 2012 to 2021. The average investor is there in orange at 8.7%. You can see that the S&P 500 returned almost double that at 16.6%. The difference there is that the average investor will go in and out of the market and try to time things. That's not how we do things at Physician Wealth Advisors. You hear about averages, and you all understand how an average works, but it's interesting to see in the market the average return for stocks since 1936 has been 10.4%. Now, of that 97 years going back that far, 1936, going back that far, how many of those years do you think hit that average of about 10%? The answer is 0. And here's how the distribution works. And I know this is small, so I'm going to show you another slide here in a minute. But if you can see, third from the left there, in the 8 to 12%, there's only been 5 years over the past 97 years that had returns between 8 and 12%. And then the one in purple there, 2004, is the closest to the average at 10.88. But one thing you'll notice is that it's skewed towards the right. And here's that same graphic. This one goes back to 1927. And the lesson here is that the stock market is inconsistent year to year, and investors have historically been rewarded by staying in the market for the long term rather than trying to time the market. In fact, if you look at the numbers there are 26 years that the market was down, those are red, and 71 that the market was up. So that gives an average over that 97 years of the stock market being up 74% of the time. So keep that in mind. So about 7 out of 10 years the market's been up. About 3 out of 10 years, going back almost 100 years, the market's been down. And so how do we take advantage of getting these averages since we know that average returns aren't really average? So this is another busy slide. Let me kind of show you what this is. This goes back to 1980, so this is 43 years of returns on the stock market. And the black that you see there, those are similar to the red and blue you saw on the last slide. The black shows how much up or down the market finished that year. Now on the bottom, you'll see red numbers with a minus in front of them. And those show how far the market went down intra-year. So let's take a fun year, 2008, that you'll see there was down 38%, but at one time was down 49%. Does anyone remember 2008? That was a crazy year. We had the global financial crisis. I was working at Goldman Sachs at the time, and I remember looking at my 401k and my retirements, and they were down almost 50%. And I thought, oh, it's a good thing I'm in for the long term, and I have 30 more years until I'm looking to retire. But it's interesting to see how not only is the stock market volatile, but even intra-year it's volatile. If you look at 1987 there, this is when I got interested in finance. My brother came home from college and said, Mark, the market was down 21% today. It's called Black Monday. And I said, is that a lot? He says, yes, that's a lot. And I started college soon after that. And that kind of got me interested in finance. It's interesting, though, that year, 1987, at one point it was down intra-year 34% after especially one bad week in October where, again, on Black Monday, the market was down 21%. But if you look up top, you'll see that anyone that stayed invested in the market ended up 2% that year, which is pretty interesting to look at. If you look at 2021, which is right there towards the far right, you'll see that at one point the market, actually it's two over, you'll see the market was down 34% at one point. If you remember, between the end of March and April of 2020, I said 21, sorry, 2020, the market was down 34% in 6 weeks. When the market goes down 34%, the way the numbers work, it has to go up 54% just to get back to even. Not only did we get back to even, but we finished up 16%. So interesting to see how that goes. So how do we take advantage of these averages and use this in our favor? Let me show you. So, usually in your portfolio, you'll have bonds and you'll have stocks. These show the returns of stocks, again, just like the last one, if they finished up or down. And then the red sign is how much they went down intraday, or intra-year, excuse me. So you'll notice last year, bonds were down 13%. The last time, and stocks, which we'll get to in a minute, were down 19%. The last time that stocks were down 10% and bonds were down at least 10% was in 1931. So unless you're 91 or 92, you weren't alive when that happened last. So that is an anomaly, a statistical anomaly, but bonds were down 13%. Stocks, as I showed before, how do we go back here? Stocks, as I showed before, were down 19%. So when we meet with someone for an annual financial checkup, or if we meet with them, if we're partnering with that, especially those we partner with, we build a financial plan. And you would think that as you get older and as you gain more money and your wealth grows, that your decisions will get easier. And we found that actually they don't get easier. Here's something we call the 3 phases of financial and retirement planning. We break things down by age and complexity. And you'll notice in blue is what we call the accumulation period. These are your working years. These are when you're just getting out of residency and starting to practice. Along the bottom are approximate ages. And then on the left is complexity from low to high. And then the arrow that you see there shows that the complexity is getting higher. Hopefully your net worth is getting higher at the same time as you go through these areas. So as you get closer to the preservation phase, which is within about 10 years of retirement, you'll see that there's other decisions to make. And then as you retire and go into the distribution phase, things get even more complex. And this is why we exist as I think of the new name, Financial Wealth Advisors, because we exist to help you through this, through your careers, and be able to maximize your wealth. I met with a physician about a year ago, and he told me that one of his mentors as a physician when he was starting to practice told him, you're not going to get wealthy from the money you make as a physician. You're going to get wealthy from what you do with that money you make as a physician. And again, that's why we exist. When we have a bad year, like last year, when we're working with our clients and have a financial plan, we know that the market is down 3 out of 10 years and the market is up 7 out of 10 years. So we build a portfolio with that in mind. Luckily, we didn't have to go to any of our clients last year and said, you know what, stocks and bonds were down, you can't eat this year, because we build that in. And as we've met with them, with our clients, and as we've reviewed their portfolios, luckily most of them haven't really even been that badly influenced by the last year. So for those that are investing with us as direct clients, thank you very much, and hopefully this has been kind of a review for you. For those that are not meeting with you, this is an invitation to reach out to us. We can, as a member of the UMA, you can get a free annual checkup, or if you want to partner with us and have us be a partner in helping you be successful, you can. So thank you very much. You will hear from one of my colleagues, Patrick Brady, at lunch. And as we've been here in this table, this first table, as you go out this main door here, we've had people come up, is Jeff going to be here? Is Ryan going to be here? Is Eric going to be here? Is Patrick going to be here? So Patrick will be here to speak at noon during lunch, and Ryan will be here tomorrow. So again, thank you for your time. Enjoy your classes today. And again, thank you. And if you have any questions, we're at that first door out here. So thank you very much.